Hi everyone, I hope you're well and you're happy. So in this video, let me show you the basic materials and the tools that you're gonna need to repaint or re-varnish an old piece of furniture or also an old project that you have in mind. This can either be for your kitchen cabinets, bedroom cabinets, anything that is made out of wood, whether it's MDF, melamine, pine, oak, you name it. So the first thing that you're gonna need is safety. So with your safety, you're gonna need your protective. This is gonna protect your mouth and your nose. You need this. And then you're gonna need also your gloves as well. And also you're gonna need your safety glasses as well. So this is to protect your eyes. So this is very important. So the next thing that you're gonna need, which is the star of repainting old furniture, is the sanding paper. So if you have, let's say for example, if you have a sander, which is electronic, it's perfect as well. You can use that as well. And this is also work perfectly fine as well. You just need to put in a lot of work when you're using this. So this is perfect. You need to do this prior to you applying the new paint. The next thing that you're gonna need is masking tape. So the purpose of this tape is just so that you don't apply paint on areas where you do not need the paint. And the next thing you're gonna need is your paint brushes. If you're using a paint or stain, you can use paint brushes or a matting cloth as well. So the next thing that you're gonna need, if you have handles or door handles that you need to take out, a screwdriver will be perfect for this project. So just get a basic screwdriver. So, and then the next thing that you're gonna need is wood filler. So let's assume that, for example, you want to close off holes or any imperfection on your project. This is perfect for doing that. So they come in different colors as well. Please take note of the different colors as well. So you're gonna need your paint as well or your stain. So I'm gonna be using Vintage Wash by Harlequin's paint. Or the other thing that you're gonna need is liquid thinners. So this is perfect for cleaning up your brushes or any excess paint that you have dripped on the floor or on your surface. The next thing that you're gonna need, if you have a darker paint, it's important that you always have your primer. So this is a primer. You can get any different primer brand that you prefer. If you don't have a big project, don't buy a big can like this because it will go to waste. So always buy per depending on the project that you want to do. These are the easy steps, and follow the easy steps as I go along. So how nice is my plant? So for the purpose of this demonstration, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use this old tray that I did previously in one of my old videos. Look how beautiful the stain is here. So let's just assume I would want to repaint this again. So for us to repaint this project, of course you're gonna remove the handles which are on here. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove the handles which are on here. That's the first thing. So you remove, if it's an old cabinet or an old drawer and you want to repaint it, the first thing that you need to do, just remove the old handles, because even if you're going to repurpose them again, you don't want stain or paint on the current handles. So let's go ahead and take out the handles. I use my screwdriver just for the purpose of this demonstration, and quickly, so all done. So the handles are all done. So the first thing that you need to do, tip number one, you need to assess what kind of a wood are you working with. So the type of wood that I'm working with is pine. It's normal old standard pine. So you might be working with either melamine, which is your normal popular for your cupboards that we normally have, or you can have your MDF, you can have your oak. I don't recommend that you play around with oak because of the price tag that comes along with that. So either whatever wood cut that you're working with. So always assess what wood cut am I working with. That's step number one. Step number two, you need to assess, are you going to repurpose the holes that are currently on your project? So that's something that you need to know. If you're not going to repurpose the holes on your project and you want to open up new holes, or for example, you're working on a bathroom cabinet and you don't want to use the same hole, or you want to just change your handles altogether to be, because the handles which are here is just fitting for the specific handles for these holes. If you want something bigger, you may need to want to close down the holes. So we close down the holes prior to us doing any other thing. So the one element that we use to close down the holes is called wood filler. So you can use wood filler onto this to close down the holes that if you don't want to use them. So let me show you how. So the trick with wood filler is that always make sure that you match it according to the new paint that you're going to use. You can see the color here is white. So I'm just gonna assume that my new project is gonna be white. So let's assume that when I put the wood filler on, the new product, the new paint that I'm gonna use on is gonna be white. So always try to match as close as possible. And if you can't find the closest match, buy a wood filler which is neutral. So this is the wood filler. So it's just a normal paste that is used to close down holes and close down all those imperfections that you may have on your project. So just take a tiny bit of your wood filler and put it onto the holes that you have. So, and then depending on the manufacturer of the wood filler, depending on what they're saying, how many minutes you need to wait until you can sand it down. So we're gonna put this here so that everything must be nice and closed. Going to close off this. Then you wait for the set period of time, which is set by the manufacturer of the wood filler. So you put it on, wait for it to dry, and then you wait. Then the third step on this, the next thing that you're gonna need is sanding paper. This is the star when it comes to when you want to repaint or stain an old. So sanding paper is actually the star of this whole project. Basically, you can't do anything without the sanding part. So the sanding part is one of the most important part because you need to remove the current paint which we have on here so that the new existing paint is able to hold on. So basically, there are many different kinds of sanding objects, if I can call them that. So there's a normal roll of sanding paper. So you can get this with a different texture quantity, so you're depending on how smooth you want your project to be, but this one that I'm holding is 100 grit sanding paper. So in a new video I'll show you exactly what the different grits mean. So, or you can buy yourself a block of sander. So this is more perfect if you want a bit of control to hold on to it, and if budget allows, an electronic sander which is battery operated. So on this one I'm using the Bulldog 80 grit sanding paper. So I've been trying this and I've used it for more than 4 of my projects and it's still holding well very well. So I'm actually very impressed with the product. So if budget allows, go ahead and purchase an electronic sanding sander. This is perfect, especially if you're gonna be working on a daily basis. So the next step that we're gonna do, once the wood filler is done, we go ahead and make sure that we sand away. Don't take too much of it. You can take all of it, but don't scrape it too much. You're basically destroying the entire project. So that's not the aim. So what you need to do is just to make sure that you take away the current paint so that the new paint can find something to hold on to. So before you do anything, make sure that you're covered with your mouth and your eyes as well, because there's flying particles, especially when you're sanding. So for me, I'm gonna use my mask and also put on my glasses as well. So I'm gonna use my electronic sander with the sanding paper. So this is me going ahead and doing this. You can see I'm done sanding. So I've basically taken out the existing paint or stain which is on this wood cut. So basically now when I'm applying my new paint, you can see that the holes are now closed up because I used the wood filler. And the next step that we need to do is you need to let's say for example you are working in a project which is a built-in unit. One of the best advices I can give you is that have a tape ready. This is actually a beautiful thing which is amazing. So this tape, basically it's called a masking tape, or they call it a painter's paint. So I love the blue one because for the main reason that if, let's say for example, I don't want paint on the wall that or I'm working on a built-in unit, like the way I did my bathroom cabinet, I needed to put masking tape right on the side of the corner so that I don't put tape on the walls. So basically this is what it serves. So I'm going to show a demonstration, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. The other portion of the paint, the purpose exactly of a masking tape. This is such a beautiful thing to have. And let's say for example you're trying to have a two-tone sort of painting thing, you can go ahead and have that. So the one thing that I've realized within the two masking tapes, this one, always go for the blue one, because when you pull it out after some time, let's say about after 24 hours, it still comes out perfectly compared to this one. This one, when you pull it out, it tends to hold on to the wall or the substance that you painted on. So always go for the blue one. I don't know what the properties they put in here, but it's perfectly good. So you can see I'm going to take this out. Can you see how, as for my demonstration, the purpose of the masking tape? Let's say you don't want to mess around your wall, so that's how it works. So let's move on to this. So the next step, so let's just assume that you want to use a paint on top of a paint. So after you've done your sanding, there's a thing called a primer. So a primer basically is going to help cover up the old paint and then you start off from scratch. If I can, that's a simple way of saying it. So you can see here, it's just giving us a new opportunity so that we can start off from scratch. So especially if you have darker colors, you can see here I started off with black and then I have a darker color that word so that we're able to apply a fresh new paint without the old paint showing. So this is a primer, so that's also an important part. After you're done with everything, let's assume that you're done with things. Just always remember to put on your gloves as well so that you can protect your hands while you're doing the painting stage. And then you will have paint brushes which you're done with. Can you see my paint brushes? I've used them. So the thing to use to clean up your paint brushes, the popular thing we call thinners. So this is painter's thinners. This is perfect if you want to clean up your brushes. So don't leave them in the thinners for far too long. Just clean them off quickly and rinse them off with water and let them to dry. So that's the best way to clean your paint brushes. So with paint brushes, you can use them more than once. So that's it. That's the only way to do it. So you can see how simple it is. It doesn't have to be intimidating. If you have an old project that you want to do or an old piece of furniture, don't throw away your old piece of furniture. Always repaint it. You'll see the amazing beauty of just repainting an old piece of furniture. Do try a project like this and let me know down in the comment section what are your views and how your project turned around. And until next time, thank you. Cheers. Bye.